And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Hey, whoa! Did you just assume the Antichrist's gender? You know, when I was a boy, I was involved with one of the most powerful members of the no-dick, Nancy boy, bitch boy world, the Catholic Church. Oh yeah, an all-boys Catholic school, where being an impotent, virginal cuck was celebrated by impotent, virginal cucks. Where, like prison, men would turn to shagging men because women weren't there. Not all men there did that.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with
women.
And I got news for you. That means
not
gay.
Obviously. And one time, we got a look at the book of Revelation in religious studies, and all the Antichrist goodness. And for years, I thought, what a bunch of malarkey. But now, having watched AEW weekly in 2024, yeah, that's right, weekly, even when Y2Gay pissed geriatrics on the telly, I'm watching it, and I see the truth. We are in the end times from that book of Revelation, and the Antichrist is here. Butch Sadie's Brocade. Whoa, hold the phone, actually. Finally a Mercedes I can get behind. Anyways, the Antichrist is prophesied to be a liar. A figure presented to the masses as saving the day when, in reality, they're here to destroy everything. Butch Sadie's arrives in AEW, kissing her own ass, trying to convince us all she's the biggest thing since Dwayne Johnson, as if she's gonna take AEW to new heights, and then bam! Record low ratings across the board. Coincidence? I think not. And some will say there are other obvious players to blame for the dead as fried chicken ratings. And I agree. For in the end times, it won't just be the Antichrist. It will be the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse too. And we have them right here. The not-so-young cucks, Cac Puny and Kazu Bitcher No Aura. These 4, with Butch Sadie's, are to AEW what gangrene is to a human leg. And the lying didn't start in AEW, oh no. Sasha Banks, the Beast's old name, had the audacity to suggest that women's wrestling is better than men's wrestling. Frankly, a lot of us are tired of having to pretend we think women's wrestling is what we want to watch. Bar the occasional elite-level talent or insanely hot chick, a lot of women's wrestling just looks fake and cumbersome, with a lot of awkward separation and distance in every mistimed move, acting even worse than the men, and storylines you can tell the likely male booker found a chore to dream up. Bar Shawn Michaels, of course, he seems to love doing it. Speaking of which, the legit Butch had the audacity to suggest women's main events would be a big deal when both Hell in a Cell 2016 and WrestleMania 37 Night 1 Saw many heading for the exit before the main event. And what do you think those main events had in common? The legit botch. That's what they had in common. Again, lying and promising glory and success, only to hand out failure and deflation. And perhaps, most shocking of all, the audacity, the absolute audacity, to pick up a microphone and cut a promo and expect us all to take it seriously when you sound like an AI doing an impression of someone who speaks English as their third language. Expecting us all to pretend like it's anything but shit. Torturing our ears and minds in the process. And then there's Willow Shitingstale, who the botch statement blamed for her injury last year. But golly gosh, look at the footage. They call Satan himself the Lord of Lies, and look at what we're dealing with right here. And there's that pesky history of walkouts and tantrums too, as a below-mid talent attempts time and again to throw hissy fits when Vince McMahon didn't think a fragile botch machine was the next face of the company or something. Wow. Vince took on both God and Satan. It's wild stuff. Already, the virginal Smark dirt sheets have dropped hints and rumors of segments being shuffled about on AEW in service of botch Sadies, allegedly, irritating the nameless entities that populate AEW's women's division. And you see, sowing seeds of discord, frustration, and fear among yourself and those around you, well, that's just yet another mark of what we can expect from I think you can guess by now. Her hostile takeover of AEW has already begun. Look no further than here.
And the New Japan Strong Champion. So, yes, this little creativity that I have of taking all the belts and going global.
Shocking.
Every single week you gotta watch. Yes, I have creative control, but
Just shocking. And listen to the fear in the interviewer's voice.
So I gotta just put it out there, and don't get mad at me, but gonna put it out there.
bye.
You can tell this interviewer senses the demonic, satanic Baphomet energy just radiating off the TBS champ. Chilling stuff. Using her power over poor Tony Khan, a man who definitely looks like he could be duped by dark magic, to book awful angles, just awful angles. Supremely fake-looking matches, even by the awful standards of modern AEW. Horrifying. Just horrifying. All for sagging ratings, no profit, and a very likely demise of that TV deal they currently have. Horrifying. This is clearly the work of the devil, who, for reasons unknown, just outright hates professional wrestling. By the time Car Cash is done, there will not be an AEW. It's in the endgame now. It is Armageddon, end times wrestling.